This month, we read The Lady on Esplanade by New York Times bestselling author Karen White. And it's a book about rebuilding lives, rebuilding trust, and rebuilding houses too. So there's a practical side to this. It's a wonderful read, and I'm excited to talk to Karen about it. We'll get with her shortly. First, we'll handle a few news bits. Be sure to like and share this video to be entered to win a $50 gift card to the Brenda Novak store, and drop in the comments where you're from. We always like looking at that. And if you just found the group, welcome to new members. We're super excited to have you. Just to bring you quickly up to speed, we want to let you know that in this group, we have a featured read once a month that we all read together. And then I interview the author on the last Thursday of the month, always at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's tough to find the perfect time to bridge the time zones, but we found that that sort of works best. So we apologize for those for whom it doesn't work. And also we have this, you can get an autographed copy of every book that we read, which makes for a really cool thing at the end of the year when you have a whole stack of autographed copies that you've collected. You can get those in the Brenda Novak book boxes, for which we offer a monthly subscription. You can also do a 3-month subscription where you just get, like, I don't know, Christmas and your birthday, or, you know, your favorite month that you used to read books with your mother or something. And so you can pick 3 of those. It gives you a little bit of discount when you do the subscriptions versus getting one box here and there, but we do have that option for you too. We try and be as flexible as possible so we can include as many people as possible. So speaking of including people, we have the kindest, most generous group in the world. So many people and generous hearts donate to our box grant program, which enables us to give Brenda Novak book boxes to members who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford one, or who are going through a hard time, maybe facing cancer, maybe facing the death of a spouse or something tragic. It's just our way of sort of wrapping our arms around them and helping them through a difficult time. And so we are super grateful to those who help us do this. And we have a lot of people to thank in our group. We put that on posts when we do our giveaways, but I wanted to just give a shout out just today. Cindy Reynolds signed up for a Christmas party package to give to somebody else who can't afford one. And that just came through today, and I happened to catch her note, and that was very touching to me. And then we have somebody like Janet Roble, who loves doing giveaways for our book group meetings, and she makes it so fun because it enables us to give away even more than we already give away. She's done 14 for today. So 14 awesome giveaways, and we will be getting to those as soon as we interview Karen White. So you want to stick around and make sure you're here for that. You're not going to want to miss those. There will be some for live viewers, some for people who maybe have to watch it after because they had to work. Like I said, we try and include everybody, but we'll get around to that as soon as the interview is over. Now, if you got my newsletter this morning, then you saw that we revealed another 2026 guest. So we've given away a couple. If you're not on my newsletter, make sure you sign up. It's just under newsletter on my website. And I know many of you are like, I've signed up and I still don't get them. That is not for us not trying. It's just your carrier, whoever you have your email with, is blocking it as spam. And so sometimes we can't overcome that, but sometimes AI is getting smarter all the time and is helping to determine what's spam and what isn't. And so hopefully if you sign up again, the computer weeds out duplicates, and we will eventually be able to reach you, because we also sent out the progress that we've made. In every line is the cover artist for our book tracker, which is coming out in January, and it's turning out so cute. So we showed you the progress on that. And we also, well, we can't give all the titles away yet because we have the 12 Days of Bookmas coming up. And what 12 Days of Bookmas is, it's kind of like an advent calendar style reveal, where we're going to, each day we will open a new gift from an author who will be joining us next year and reveal who that author is. So that will start December 1st. It'll run through December 12th. And so you can also write down what our next schedule is. It'll be really fun to reveal that. We have some fun surprises for you on that. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're signed up on for my newsletters, because we often reveal extra things, or it's a great way to get a hold of you when Facebook doesn't show our content to everybody. Of course, it's in their best interest to show ads and not organic content. So it helps us to be able to reach you if you actually sign up on my newsletter list. So I hope you'll go, even if you've signed up recently, do it again just to make sure we can still continue to reach you. This is our last meeting until the big Christmas party. So you're going to definitely want to put December 11th on your calendar. It is also my husband's birthday on that day. He loves this group, so he doesn't mind sharing it with you guys. And I thought it would be fun for all of us to get together and wish him a happy birthday. He's Bingo Ted. He's Bookstream Ted. He's Bad Joke Ted. with his dad jokes. No, they actually have been pretty cute. Some of them, I like that aspect. And Barista Ted, he was Barista Ted on my book tour when we took the book stream out as well. So we will wish him a happy birthday, but we will also be celebrating Christmas, and we will be doing some fun games. We'll be doing my big 50 gift raffle. I just finished wrapping all the gifts or putting them in baskets or putting them in gift bags. I did some wrapped, I did some of each. And I've had a blast going various places. I got a few things just recently in Placerville when we were on the motorcycle through their little gift shops. Actually, one of the things I found, I'll even tell you about, I thought it was cool. It goes around your neck when you cook, and it has like towels on the end of it. So it's like a chef's towel, and you don't have to constantly, when you're cooking, look around for your towel or a paper towel. It's just hanging right around you, and you can wipe your hands. And they're handmade, and they came from a fun gift store. So I liked supporting the woman who was doing it as well. So those are two of the items that will be given away. I got two of them. They weren't hugely expensive, like 25 bucks, but I think they're going to be nice for people to win and be able to use for cooking for the holidays. So that's kind of fun. So there will also be, besides that raffle, you can get a raffle ticket. Well, it'll be a big raffle, but you don't have to have a raffle ticket to win something. We will do some for live viewers as well. And for those who can't get a ticket, but if you want a ticket, because a lot of them will go to the ticketed raffles, then you can get one through our Christmas party packages, since our Christmas box is sold out. They're also going out in December's Brenda Novak book box, but those are all sold out. So we still have the Christmas packages available. And I think we still have a few more copies of Rayanne Thane's book. We sold out and we got more from her. She was kind enough to sign more. So we still have Rayanne's. We have some of my Christmas books, which we're running out of. I hope we can get more before next year, because we are almost out of all of those. So you can still get one of those while supplies last. And anyway, so that pretty much takes care of our announcements for today. And now I get to introduce our fabulous November author. Karen White is the New York Times bestselling author of more than 30 novels. She's master of the modern Southern Gothic and the brilliant mind behind the beloved Trad Street series. Karen's books transport readers to charming, haunted, history-soaked corners of the South, where family secrets, second chances, and the occasional ghost intertwine with deeply human stories. Her career famously began with a dare from her husband, a dare that launched decades of best-selling novels and a global readership. It is my great pleasure to welcome the one and only Karen White.
Oh, thank you, Brenda.
Hi.
And wow, I'm looking at where everybody's from. You really have an international group here. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have some Australian members and some Canadian members. Yeah, we have a lot of Southern members down by where you live too. You're in Georgia, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, we are so glad that you could join us. How long did it take you to sign all those books for our boxes? That was a huge undertaking.
You know what? It was kind of fun. The guy just dumped the whole pallet in my garage. So I would bring like 6 boxes in at a time. I listened to true crime podcast with my earbuds. So it just really kind of took me away. You know, I wasn't even aware I was doing it. It took me, I can give it a solid 5 days, just I would, do 6 books at a time, go do something else, then come back, do 6 boxes at a time. And so it was fun. You
You did great.
Yeah.
It was so nice to
sort of the streamlined, what I knew, then it just kind of went. And again, keeping myself occupied with the true crime podcast was pretty
key. Yeah. What's funny is when I do my signing, whenever I have a release, of course, I'm in the boxes. And so when I do it, I'm watching true crime, but I'm really listening to it but it's on my TV and I just do it in here. And so I really like doing that too. Last month, we featured Greg Olson with his true crime novel about the little girl who went missing in Idaho years and years ago. Did you remember that? It was in the 80s. And
I bet I do. I'm going to go look it up because I bet I'm aware of it.
You will totally remember it once you hear of it. I was just getting married at the time, so I was not really into current events, but even I sort of remembered the echo of it once I started reading it. And I thought, oh yes, I do remember all the billboards that were up and everything in Idaho and how much this was on the news. And so it was a very sad, tragic story, but it was well written and it focused a lot on, recovery and that type of thing as well. So there was certainly some hope in it. Yeah, but it was fun because we've never done a true crime novel before.
Okay. No, that's not his ballywick or whatever you call it. But wow, I haven't even heard of that. So okay, awesome. I will definitely check that out.
I didn't know that he already wrote a book about Mary Letourneau, Mary Kay Letourneau, I think her name is. Do you remember
I remember her.
Yes.
Oh yes. Now that's a story I definitely remember. And Yeah, and then she passed away a few years ago from cancer. She married the guy, had baby.
Yeah.
Just anyway, yeah, that's a story.
Yeah,
That's the
it was a
story.
story, and I think the title was something like, "Is It Wrong to Love You?" or something like that. I can't remember the title of that one,
And
but
yes,
I would like to read
or
that
yes, it
next.
is wrong to fall in love with your 15-year-old student and get pregnant by him. Yeah, while you're married with other
Well, I
children.
think it
I'd
started when he
say.
was 12. I think he was in the
Oh
12th.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, it's even
Yeah,
worse.
I think he was a 6th grade student, if I remember
Oh,
right. So
yeah.
very, very sad. So we'll take just a moment to give away our last November box. We always reserve one
Yes.
for this moment, and it is to someone who has answered on the post that we put up that they're going to come tonight and submit a question. And if they submit a question for us, then they're entered to win this. So let me just name the winner of that real quick. This month's winner is Vanessa Lowe. Congratulations, Vanessa. We'll tag the winners in a post with a link to claim the prizes that we're giving away. Make sure you fill out that claim form so that we can ship you your goodies. It's the only way we have to get them out. So back to Karen. Karen, why don't you tell everyone a little more about the dare that got you into writing?
You know what? It it's funny because I don't know what that story is. I don't
Oh,
No, the thing that got me into writing was a book hangover after reading the Outlander series,
oh
because
my goodness.
I never wanted to be a writer. Um, and I will say my husband was supportive, because when I couldn't pick up another book to read, and I just remember my teachers saying, you should write a book, and me going, oh, I would never want to write a book. I'm a reader. And then just giving up, thinking, I'm just going to start writing a book, and just, I'm sure I'll be bored after the first 2 pages, and I'll go back to it. And my husband and I was like, okay, I'm going to be writing a book. And he was like, okay, go ahead. I mean,
Wow.
it wasn't and then after 3 pages, I realized that there was more I wanted to write. And then I had a chapter, and then and then I had a whole book, and I ended up writing it putting it into a contest. Again, full support of my husband. He even said it was okay for that $35 entrance fee and the price of the floppy, to put it on for those days. I was on, remember CompuServe?
Oh,
CompuServe
yes. Oh, yes.
writers forum, and Diana Gabaldon was a very vocal member on that group, and she was the one that told me about this. Told the group about the contest, and that's why I entered, because she would give the finalist a written critique. And I ended up winning. So I not only got a written critique by Diana, but I also got an offer of representation from the finalist judge, who was a New York literary agent.
Oh my goodness. That's a wonderful story. I love that. Do you remember the name of the contest?
It was one of the RWA chapters. I want to say in Virginia. You remember how in the the RWR magazine, at the
Yes.
back, they
Yeah.
always had like all the contests by the different chapters. And I
Yeah.
always looked for the one that had like the mainstream, with romantic elements category. And
Yeah.
then I would look and see who the judges were, because I was unpublished at the time. And
Yeah.
so I always look for an agent or an editor, who's going to be the finalist judge. And when I saw Diana Gabaldon, I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. Yeah. You know what? We started about the same time, I think. When did your first book come out?
2000.
2000. Yes. Mine came out in 1999. So
Okay, yep,
we
same
can, so
time.
I was
Mhm.
doing the same thing. I was a member of RWR. I was checking, or RWA. I was checking the back of the RWR, and I was entering into those contests. I don't remember one that Diana judged, but I remember one that Christina Dodd judged, and it was
Right,
down and for the same thing. Like I won a critique from her. And so that
right.
was very interesting that we have such similar experiences having
I
belonged to
know. And how
RWA.
much do I miss, and I'm sure many of your readers are also, interested in writing, and that, I'm sure you get the questions like, how do I start? And I wish I could say, there's this great organization that, really embraces new writers, and,
Yeah.
the experienced writers are great mentors, but sadly, that organization is just really not what
Yeah.
it was. And I really miss
No.
that. That was such a huge part of it.
I miss it too. Every year we would get together, and that's the only time I really got to see my published friends and my
Yes,
writer friends and my
yes.
publisher and my agent. And there were, the formals that we'd put on for the big Rita contests.
Under
And I
that, I
really miss that
know.
too. It was the ladder that a lot of us used to climb into the industry. So it's really sad that,
100%. Mhm.
yeah, it happened all around Corona, which is unfortunate. The timing of it, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so your protagonists are often strong but haunted, emotionally or literally. What draws you to that duality?
I try to write real. and I love, and I think, and maybe I'm the model for for some of it, because people always say, "Oh, Karen, you're so strong, you've got it all together, you just," and I kind of like go like, who who are you looking at? Because inside I'm just a quivering bowl of jello. It takes a lot. I remember, now that I have 37 books under my, and which is, I know you've got like 1,000,006, so 37 is nothing. But
Oh, that's
you know,
good.
so so I've been, I can talk in front of large crowds, but I remember the first time I ever like spoke up, like to ask a question, like at a writers meeting. I was just like quivering, and I think you have to find that within yourself, that what is it that you believe in, that you care enough about, that you want to speak up about it,
Yes.
and I love that about, so many women don't really understand what they're made of, until, they have no other choice but to find out. And
Right.
unfortunately, I have personal experience with that, but I was writing about it long before, I stepped into these shoes. But I'm just always amazed. And, even my mom, who's, born in Southern Mississippi, she was the oldest of six children, raised very traditionally. She was, 50s, 60s, raised in the 50s, 60s housewife, raised us in the 70s and 80s. And she was always the stay-at-home mom, always, her how everything was spick and span clean. But there were many times when my dad traveled for work. We lived all over the world, and he traveled, like he would be in the Middle East for 6 weeks at a time, and she was in charge of the four kids.
Yeah.
And they would be in countries where she didn't speak the language, and she
Wow.
figured it out, because she didn't have there wasn't an option. Her mom didn't live down the street. Her mom lived across the ocean. I mean, it was, and you just have to admire that, because I don't think she ever thought that she could do that, but then she did. And I love that. I love self-discovery. I love writing about women, and their self-discovery, finding out that they may be in this hole that circumstances has dug, or they have dug for themselves, and they don't think they have what it takes to get out of it, but they find out that they do, and then they do. So that
I love that.
is my favorite character to read about and to create.
Yeah, that is so inspiring. And I've had you join me on a previous book signing at Virginia
Yes,
Highland Books, and I know from experience that you are very well spoken and you don't seem to have any fear now. So it's interesting to me that you started out, but I can identify even with that, because when I started out, I never dreamed being a writer meant also being a
right,
speaker.
right.
And then you have to speak. You have to get out there in
You
front of
have
readers
to. You can't
and
be
on
boring.
signings and
Yeah,
libraries.
you can't be boring when you talk to readers, because they're gonna like, well, if her books are this boring, I'm gonna take a pass. So you gotta do something.
Right. Well, how do you balance humor and Southern charm with darker themes and mysteries? It's such a nice, delicate balance you have going on.
I think it's just from my own Southern family. We're a bunch of crazies. Can I say that? But in the South, we put our crazies on the front porch. We're not ashamed of them. But, I think it's also my parents. My dad, especially my dad. My dad he was born in Macomb, Mississippi in 1932. So this is, the heat of the Depression, right? His
Yeah.
family literally had no money. There were many days where he didn't have food to eat. And, he got out of that by going, he was very smart, and he had this mind, that just this quest for knowledge his entire life. And, but I think also there was his childhood was so hard. There was a lot of darkness in him, and he saw a lot of bad things. I mean, this is terrible, and I actually put it in one of my books, that is set during that time. Part of the book is set during that time, where, he found a stray dog, a little small fluffy dog that he called Fluffy, and it was his dog, and they had it for a year, until it either ate something poisonous, or might have been bit by a snake, but it was dying, and it was
Mm.
suffering, and they couldn't afford a vet, and his father gave him the gun and said, "You have to go take care of it." And so there's,
Yeah.
and my dad would tell me these stories of his childhood, and they would just, I mean, they break your heart. But he was also
Yeah.
one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He just had this amazing sense of humor and this great thirst for knowledge. And that's, he went to college on the ROTC bill, traveled the world, and then became an executive with Exxon. So he was very successful, but he was always light and dark. All my memories of him are light and dark, light and dark. And that is such a richly drawn character, especially knowing his background. And that's why I try to put that into my stories. I think it just makes everything well-rounded, and
Yeah.
just more richly textured. And again, that's what I like to read. So that's what I like to write as well.
Yeah. Well, it gives you those light moments when you add the humor, and like you said, adds that sparkle of lightness to
Right,
sort of counterbalance.
right.
And I think humor is the only way we really can get through life. Everybody
Amen.
faces challenges and problems, and it is certainly the one thing that kind of helps out with for whatever we're going through. A little bit of laughter never hurts.
Amen.
So this next segment is called Spill the Tea, and it's where I ask you a little bit more intimate or oddball questions to help our readers get to know you better. So are you ready for
I'm
this?
ready.
Okay. Have you ever had a supernatural encounter?
I have. I
Oh.
have. 3 4 times, one very recently. The first 3, my son was present at all times. The first one when he was 4 years old, and he wanted to know who that man was in the living room, and I didn't see anyone, and I realized later on in that evening, and also there had been a pile of ashes on my keyboard, and I didn't, and my son was 4, he's 32 now. Um, But that's when I realized that was a friend of mine had recently passed in April, and this was May 29th, and this was his first birthday since he had passed. And we had made a pact when we were in college, whoever goes first, because we were good friends. Whoever goes first,
Yeah.
come back and ha ha ha. That's what you say when you're 20 because you think it's funny.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm kind of glad I didn't realize until later that that's what was happening. So yeah,
Well, a little love tap from him,
yeah, I,
perhaps.
I I think so for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you could spill the tea on one author friend, something funny, harmless, but true, who would you choose and why?
Beatrice Williams.
I love that you laugh.
So I write with Beatrice and Lauren Willig, and again, the whole reason why we write together is to get a publisher to pay for our girls' trip, aka book tour. 'Cause the 3 of us have a lot of fun together, but I could certainly spill the beans on her. When you travel with people, and we've done 4 books together and 4 book tours and numerous, retreats together. I have a lot of dirt on both of them. And I could, but then they have a lot of dirt on me. So I just need
That's
to keep it
right.
buttoned up.
It's a double-edged
It
sword.
is, yes.
Have you ever gotten yourself into trouble while researching a book?
Well, this is really funny. We were having the trim on our house painted, and I was in my office, and I was in the middle of writing The Color of Light, and I needed to know there is a buried body, but I needed to find a way, like how do you bury a body like in a house where it can't smell. And so
That's a good question.
I'm on
That's
the
something you would
phone
need to know.
I'm on the phone with Susan Crandall, another writer friend, and I'd forgotten that my windows were open, because they were painting the trim. And I happened to look, I'm on the phone and I kind of look over on the other side of my, and the guy is standing there literally not moving, just like holding, holding the brush. Like, oh no, it's for research for a book. He didn't call anyone, and he was like, we'll do a good job. I promise we'll do. No.
That's great. I
Just have to
remember
be
one time I
careful.
went to
Yeah.
yes, you do. I went to the morgue one time and I took Allison Brennan, who's just a
Yes.
battle axe with me, and she and I were, didn't realize they were going to be having an autopsy there. There was a man who'd been stabbed the night before, and they were allowing us to view this. It was something I hadn't anticipated, but I also didn't think I'd have a problem with it because I was very curious and I wanted to learn this. So I'm stepping up in the little box where the detectives normally look, and we have the coroner with us, and I'm asking questions. And cognitively, I was doing fine, and I was very curious about what's going on. But something about my autonomic nervous system just
Just
shut down. And I
sure.
mean, I literally, and it took about 15 minutes, but I started feeling funnier and funnier. And I kept telling myself, Brenda, like, override, this is ridiculous. Like, I couldn't. I mean, I just literally sank down the wall. And Allison, everybody looks at me like, what's wrong with you? And it took me probably an hour before I could had enough strength in my legs to be able to stand again.
Oh my
And so I went
God.
back the next day to finish asking the questions I wanted to. And as soon as I got close enough to even smell the smell of it,
You felt that again.
it just started happening again. Yeah. So the coroner said, yeah, he asked me if I had low blood pressure, which I do, and was nice enough to blame it on that.
Okay, sure,
But
sure.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Does
anyway,
Allison let you forget that ever?
oh, no, and it didn't bother her at all. She was just like looking at me like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I was trying to be tough like her
Low
so
blood
hard, like,
pressure.
stand up,
That's
Brenda,
a
you
good
can
one.
do it. Okay, so your co-written novels with Beatrice Williams and Lauren Willig, which you mentioned, are equally wonderful to your own work. What's something about the three W's dynamic that readers might not know? For instance, when you disagree on a plot twist, how is the stalemate broken?
So here's the weird thing. When the three of us got together the first time, we didn't even know what we were doing. We met at a tea house in New York City just to sort of talk. We were just going to talk about a kind of book we'd want to write. And it was magic. This is when we invented the unibrain. The unibrain accepts that it is one author brain. It is not my book, her book, her book. It is our book. And these are our characters. And we are doing all of this creation as one body, one brain. And we instinctively got into that mode so that when one person would say one thing, the next person will just go, yes, and build on it and build and build.
Oh,
There's none of this shutting down. No, no, we can't. No, it's like because I think because we are fans of each other's writing, we know that none of us is going to come up with a bad idea.
yeah,
It's just,
yeah,
maybe this idea, maybe we can tweak it like this, but we're still going to use it. We're just going to do it this way. We're going to massage it this way, or like, yes, let's just keep going. And it's this magical thing. And that was the first question we got on our first book tour, our first event in New York. And the first question we got was, how do y'all resolve conflict? And we looked at each other like, we don't have any. We truly don't.
wow.
And
Wow,
now,
that's the first time I've ever heard that, because usually, there's going to be some
of course,
disagreement over even titles or cover direction or story direction, or like, don't do that with my character. Or
but it's
do we end it
our
happily? Do
character.
we end it happy for now?
No, I know and I don't know if I have so many writer friends. I don't know if I could write with any other authors except for these two because we just seem to gravitate towards that brain and that voice. And it even becomes the univoice. Our editor can't tell which person wrote which part because we have
Wow.
melded our voices into the univoice, even though we're writing three different characters in the book. And it truly is, it is the most fun writing experience you can ever imagine, because it's like,
Yeah.
when you're writing by yourself and you're like, "Oh, okay, I have this idea. What do you think of blah blah?" And all you get are crickets. But when you have two
Right.
writers, they're like, "Yes," and then da 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 da, and then da da da, and then you just go around round robin. And so by that first plotting thing, we had an entire book outlined and all the characters done within like 3 hours.
Wow.
I have never done that
Wow.
ever in my life for one of my own books.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish.
I can't even imagine that.
It was
How did that even come up that you did? I mean, I think a lot of people maybe, fantasize about, oh, I'm going to find these other writing buddies. It's going to be real fun. We're going to make this work. But you actually made it
right.
work. I mean, how did you choose them? How did the first idea
So,
first emerge? Hey, we should write a book together.
yeah. So we were all our names, all last names start with W. And remember the RWA conferences, as we were talking about earlier, they would do the
Oh,
literacy
yeah.
signings, and all the W's would be in the back of the room.
Uh-huh.
And it would take forever for people to get back there. So we would just have a little chat session, and so we got to know each other, really well. And then we were reading each other's books because I mean this went on for years and years. And then after I think it was the last Orlando conference after the big, awards night. The three of us found ourselves in the hotel bar. So
Funny
this
how
is
that happens.
we call ourselves the three W's, and the fourth W is wine. So, and the only conflict we have now is, I prefer red. Sometimes, Lauren prefers white. Sometimes Beatrice would prefer rosé. So if, we can't decide, we just do prosecco. It's
Oh,
easier.
there you go. Or drink a bottle each. That's the
Exactly, and that's happened. So yeah.
the book that comes out of that might not be the best, but
I
it'll be a
don't
fun night.
know. They all have some, wine in them. So
They all have some wine and words. There we go. So now we get to talk about the lady on Esplanade, and it's one character in the book says, "When the water rises in New Orleans, it's anyone's guess what might rise with it," and that sets the tone. The
Mhm.
book explores how people and secrets from the past rise up and threaten Nola Trenholm's new life. It's book number 3 in the Royal Street series, which is a breakoff from the Trad Street, but it also
Mhm.
works well as a standalone. So we've
Mhm.
got a few reader questions for you.
Okay.
Catherine Fulham wants to know, what was the spark that began the writing of the book, and did it change by the time you finished?
Um, no, the spark was reading about there had been a horrible storm. And actually, I just started writing the book, or was just about to get going when it was, might have been one of the hurricanes from a year or 2 years ago that just flooded the Gulf Coast. It wasn't like a bad hurricane, it might have been one or two, but there was lots of flooding and storms. And because it's New Orleans is below sea level, that's why, they have the mausoleums, because you don't bury on anything underground, but sometimes there are. And even sometimes if the water gets high enough, coffins will start floating.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
and
Oh,
I read a story how a guy woke up in the morning and there was like several coffins like in his backyard that had just kind of found their way into his backyard. And I was just thinking, good heavens,
that would be what a thing to
that's
wake up to.
a nightmare.
Oh my
um,
goodness.
yeah. So I thought that, I mean, that was just an image there. I'm like, okay, I got to use that somehow, somewhere.
Absolutely. Yes. I was lucky enough to visit NOLA. Well, I've been there a couple of times, but I do remember learning about the above ground
Yeah.
cemeteries and visiting
Oh,
some.
me too.
And yes, I'm finding that quite fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness. So you definitely made good use of it.
Oh, yeah.
John and Niall says, how long did it take to write this book?
Oh boy. Oh gosh. Probably I would say a year.
Okay.
Probably a year. Normally not, I would say 9 months. It should have taken me only 9 months, but, I injured my back, so I had to write while lying down on my stomach. So,
Oh my
that was
goodness.
I know that was, yeah, both I had 2 books out this year, and both of them were written lying down on my stomach. It was ridiculous. So,
Wow.
um
How long were you laid up?
so I'm still having after effects. That's probably another reason why, I mean, because I've started the sequel and I just, it was just such slow going because it's still hard for me to sit for long periods of time. So I got my new office chair here. So I'm
Is
getting
that
ready to,
helpful?
I think so. I mean, I'm not in agony right now because before I couldn't sit down. It hurt so bad. So
Oh, I'm so sorry that that
I'm
happened.
sleeping now because I couldn't sleep either, because that's the
Oh,
pain would get worse when I sat down or tried to sleep. Writers don't need to sleep or sit down, so it's a
oh,
good
never.
thing.
Yeah,
It's so
never.
ridiculous. I know, of all
Wow.
things.
You have had such a rough few years. My
Yeah,
goodness.
it's
Wow,
but
I'm so
that
sorry.
means that next year I'm signed up for the smooth sailing package. I've, been
Yeah.
talking to God about that, like, none of these hardships and tribulations package, please.
Yeah.
2026 is gonna be a smooth sailing. So
It's your turn to have a
yeah.
really great year. Tanya Jackson wants to know, did you base your New Orleans settings on your own experience living there or more on research?
Um, both.
Okay.
Because certainly the ambiance of New Orleans is, something that just is embedded in me for my 4 years at Tulane, And two of my dearest friends are born and raised there. One of them still lives there. So I try to go back and visit as often as I can. And when I go back, I'll do things like, I'll do a walking tour, I'll do a ghost tour, I'll do a house tour or whatever, just to sort of reacquaint myself. Especially it's a post Katrina New Orleans, which is
Uh-huh.
completely different from a pre Katrina New Orleans.
Right.
And so it's I believe in suffering for my craft. That's a joke that I usually do on tour. So I make sure I go visit and I make sure I eat at the restaurant so I can accurately talk about the meals that the characters will be having. So
Exactly. We're going back to April to suffer a little for the one that's coming out in April,
mm,
or we're going in March rather to get prepared for my book Meet Me in Italy that's coming out in April. So I know
gosh,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Exactly. I said a book in New Orleans. I'm trying to even remember if I can remember my own title. I think it was called Stop Me. I've written
Oh
80 over 80 books now. I think I'm at
yes, you
85.
have.
And
Wow.
so sometimes you forget exactly the titles, but it was very interesting research and I loved, and it was a suspense novel.
Okay, of
And I really
course, it
enjoyed it. I
just
think it's,
lends itself to suspense. I mean,
yeah,
it's such a
absolutely.
moody city. I mean, and again,
Yeah.
it's dark and light, and those are things
Yeah.
that I just love. The dichotomy, I guess, is the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Nancy Paget McCowan asks, what is your favorite place in New Orleans?
Mm. I love Audubon Park. There's just something they've got the bird sanctuary there, they've got the lovely running path. It just brings back happy memories of when I was, in at Tulane because it's right across from campus. I would ride my bike or I'd go running when I used to be a runner. Just a lot of happy memories, and, walking with my boyfriend or, it's just a peaceful, beautiful, beautiful, serene place with those ancient oaks and they've got the little lagoon in the middle. It's very peaceful and lovely. Yeah.
Yes, I when we were still traveling to meet the authors and interview the authors, we feature a book group in
Mhm.
their homes, which we did this for several of years when we first started. One of them was
Wow.
Erica Spindler, who lives in NOLA. And
Okay.
so we were able to go and visit her in her home and interview her and feature her book, which was really spectacular. So that was one of the fun times I got to visit. And I ran into
Neat.
Colin Kaepernick on the streets. And I'll never forget, I was just looking ahead of me. And all of a
Really?
sudden I run into this wall almost, in the crowded streets of downtown. And I look
Right.
up and
Like,
and,
"Oh,
uh, I was
I
like,
know
"Oh,
you."
I recognize you." Yeah, yeah. So we love going to New Orleans. I think everybody does. But Jill Buck wants to know, do you believe in ghosts? And if so, have you ever met or felt one? You told us a little bit about that.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you do believe in ghosts.
I do. Have I ever seen, like, a full apparition? No. Do I want to? Absolutely not, no. I've seen an orb, and, my dog had an experience, a few weeks ago in my house.
It
Yeah,
sounds
she was
scary.
but I wasn't because I had a feeling I knew who it was, and I didn't see or sense anything, but she was acting so weird, and she insisted like, normally, I just put her on my bed when it's time to go to bed, and she kept on jumping down and pawing at the door and wanted to go out into the foyer, and, like she was waiting for someone, and I let her out, and she wasn't barking, she was just kinda looking at something that I couldn't see, and I was like, "Okay, let's go to bed now, Sophie."
Oh,
Picked
little
her up.
unnerving,
A little unnerving, yeah.
especially at night when you're going to bed.
Mhm, mhm, but
Um,
the alarm was set, so I knew there hadn't been any intruders, and if
right.
there was an intruder, she would have been, yapping.
Flipping out. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Susan Steiner says, I want a cookbook of the fabulous recipes in this series. Do you have any plans for a cookbook?
Oh my gosh, you know what? Have you read my bio and what I spend my time doing? One of the things is avoiding cooking.
Well, that there are worse things to do. That means everybody loves being around you, that's for sure.
Oh, well, but I know a lot of great cooks, and that's how, when I did I did a little cookbook for, I guess, the first book, and I asked my New Orleans friends, like, what are your tried and true recipes that even I can do? And my husband and I had some people over and we did the recipes. I'm like, okay, they're easy, even I can do it.
Oh,
Let's put
good.
them in. So yeah.
Wonderful. So where can people get that cookbook? Is it still available on your website
It's not,
somewhere?
no, you know what? And I should have just printed a bunch, but they were a special giveaway for, I think, a pre-order
Oh,
giveaway or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool. Well, we're sad we
But
missed
if
that.
I had your
Savannah and I.
daughter, I could have, done a whole, like, shop and stuff, you know what I mean? My goodness.
I've got my daughter just absolutely juggling. The poor thing can't keep up with everything. And
I'm
actually, it's not my
sure.
fault. A lot of it's ideas that she's come up with that she wants to see come to fruition,
It's
and
her own
I'm the one
fault.
kind of hanging on for the ride, going, "Okay, what do you need me to do?"
If she weren't so competent, she wouldn't be in this trouble, so.
There you go. Yeah, it's all her fault. That's what I tell her. Mary Manella says, "Will there be more books in this series?" I'm guessing the answer to that's going to be yes.
Yes, absolutely. There is a quite a bit of a hook at the end of this book. I am
Yep.
contracted for at least one more. Hopefully, if the Trad Street series was only supposed to be 2 books, but my editor, readers just showed up for that series and they wanted more and more and more, and that's why there were 7 at the end. And I know if my readers, really respond to this series as much as they responded to that, there will definitely be more. I mean, the way I look at it is Nola is in her late 20s in this book. There are so many years left that I can torture her. So she's got a lot of living to do. So I think I could have fun with her character for many, many years. And these
Yes, yes, you left yourself a long runway.
yeah, yes, exactly. And this, New Orleans is such a giving city. There's so much there to explore. So I anticipate there being more after this fourth one.
Wonderful. We are looking forward to them. Vicki Wilson Milton says, "How do you decide on your characters and setting? Do you outline or does the story emerge from the characters?" So I think this is our old plotter versus pantser question.
Yeah, and I'm such a pantser. I start with my main character and the setting because setting to me is a main character.
Oh yeah.
And with my person character, I know her internal and external conflicts, and then I just kind of go. And it's funny because there's the secondary character who is everybody's favorite character is Jolene, Jolene
Yes.
McKenna,
I
Nola's.
loved her little quips that she would throw in there was so good.
And she came to me in the very, very first book. We have Nola with her stepmother. They're in the kitchen of her rundown built house that she wants to buy and restore. And her stepmother Melanie's like, "Dear Lord, no, this is a terrible idea." And Melanie's like, "No, no, this is I felt it. It spoke to me." And but anyway, they're standing in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know where these things come from, but the front door opens and we hear the tapping of high heels, and then we hear glass breaking, and then we hear a woman scream. I have no idea who has just walked into that house, but I have to figure out before I start the second chapter because I'm going to have to address who just walked in. And so when that chapter opens, that's when we meet Jolene, and she comes to me. She walks onto that page fully formed. The red hair, the Southern accent. That she's from Mississippi. And then I kind of add her backstory as we go along. But yes, it's just. I don't recommend writing a book this way. I have tried. The only time I can plot and outline is when I'm doing a collaboration with 2 other authors, but on my own, I cannot do it. I have tried. It's pointless because I always change it afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that should answer your question. I'm not an outliner. No.
I am not either. I do things just like you do, but I'm impressed that you're able to do it as with the collaboration. It makes me wonder
Yeah.
if I could ever do something like that because it just seems so different from the
Yeah.
process that I've
You
established
need,
after all these years.
when you're writing with 2 other people, because we then, after we plot it, then we go to our own corners of the world and write round robin. So you kind of have to have a guide, and thank goodness. But it shows me that it can be done. I just know I can't do it on my own. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's wonderful that you're having the experience of both. So
mhm.
that's very, very fortunate. Wendy Bador wants to know, what is your favorite part of the writing process?
Oh, that's easy. The end.
What do you do to celebrate?
Oh gosh. Normally I just go take a nap. I mean, have a drink and take a nap. I mean, honestly, it's like giving birth. It's, um, and then the second best part is honestly when the book comes out and you get your reader mail or you meet your readers on tour, and it's like they love these people as much as you do. These characters are real to them too. And that to
Mhm.
me is like, I'm sure Brenda, you feel the same way. It's like, yes, these aren't just my people. These are, I'm sharing them with my readers and they get them too and they love them. And, I love how they want to talk about, you know, how, why this character does this and they know why they do this because, they've got a sister just like that, or, and I love that. It just, widens my world a little bit. So
Yeah, yeah, I think that's wonderful. My favorite is the start. I love the start for some reason. I love creating that conflict. Every start just starts so fast and I'm so into
right.
it. It doesn't get difficult until again, for me, it's the end because I just have made such a mess tying it all up. You don't want to do it too neatly, but yet you want to
I
make sure it's
know.
satisfying. And it's like I feel like I'm a master of conflict, but
Yeah.
tying it all up is where I get myself into trouble. So, the
Yeah,
ending
yeah.
is always more challenging. It takes more time and it slows me down right
Okay.
there. So is that
Well,
the
there's
same
the
for you?
middle. The middle for me, because the beginning, where things are, and then
Yeah.
you need to keep the pace going, so that it all makes sense in the end. And that's hard, to try to make sure that you're not like being too wordy, you're slowing it down. It's like,
Yeah.
am I being interesting enough? Are the characters, are they developing enough? And especially in these books, I have 600 different plot lines, and not all of them are going to be resolved in the same book. And I just have to
Right.
keep a list, like, have I addressed this plot line, at least in this book, so that readers are still aware of it. And it's a lot harder in sort of a mystery suspensey kind of book.
Yeah. I kind of look at it like I don't know, crochet or something. If I've dropped a thread, I've got to figure out how
Yeah,
to
then
make
you're gonna have a
sure
hole. You're gonna have a hole somewhere. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Gotta fix that. Find it and fix it. So Vanessa Lowe asks, what is your favorite trope to write?
Oh, I think it's
Or do you have one?
and I didn't realize I don't, and I haven't done this a lot. Well, I guess maybe I have, where the male and female protagonist, your hero and heroine, whatever you want to call them, like there's a reason for them not to like each other. I,
The enemies to lovers type trope?
it's it's fun, you
Yeah,
know.
I love
Um,
that one too. That's
and-
especially fun. SCP, Susan Elizabeth Phillips,
yes,
does
she
that one
does.
a
Yes,
lot,
she
and
does.
I love that one too. I always like redemption. Somehow these
Hmm,
redemption themes run through my books, and I don't
right,
even know I don't do it on purpose. It just
right.
seems to
It's
be my
just
core
something that,
story that comes
right,
in, to my books quite often.
right, right.
So Brenda Early said, "What other careers have you had, and do you use those experiences in your writing?"
I have actually. So, all through college, I worked retail.
Okay.
Um, so as a matter of fact, in the first book of this series, there's a big retail component. And actually, um, I was, I was in the executive training program for a major store, and I actually, out of Tulane, I interviewed at one of the 2 New Orleans stores for their executive training program. I wanted to be a buyer. So I put that in the first book. But I was also a operations manager for a software development company where I worked with a bunch of engineers with aeronautical engineering degrees from MIT. It was very different kind of work atmosphere. I have not yet used that in a book, but I might have to, because the stereotypes exist for a reason. I mean, the pocket protectors are outrageous. Um, but another thing, it was an interest of mine, and now it's my daughter's career, is historic preservation. So she has a graduate degree in a master's in historic preservation. She works in the field, so Nola has the exact job that my daughter has. So
Oh.
yeah, so I'm able to really mine that a lot. So if I weren't a writer, I would be doing what she's doing. So
Oh,
yeah.
sounds wonderful. Debbie Iskin said, "Do you have any upcoming travel plans? Do you take ghost tours when visiting new places?"
Oh, always, always. I love the ghost tours. Right now, it's just family travel to go visit my new grandbaby in Raleigh,
Oh,
and
congrats.
maybe but you can't really take a baby on a ghost tour. So
Oh.
yeah, maybe my son will go with me. We'll see. But
Alexa
yes,
and I
you're right. Wherever I go, and my sister-in-law lives not too far from Gettysburg. I've always wanted to do the nighttime ghost tour there, and I think that
yeah.
that's going to be in my future for sure.
That'd be a good one. Alexa and I, when we were in Boston, tried to take the ghost tour in Salem, and we thought, oh, this is going to be great. But it was so cold that night that we were freezing, and we finally gave up mid tour just to be able to go into a bar to get warm. So the
Yeah.
poor guy who was trying to give it, he was a stalwart out there, but we were
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, we're halfway through.
Same
This isn't
thing. Yeah.
isn't going to
Last
make
time I was in
it.
Philadelphia and with a huge family group, and we lasted halfway because I thought my fingers were going to fall off. I was
Yeah.
so cold. We're like,
We were
sorry, gotta go.
frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, time to eat. We got to get warm. So we bugged out in the middle. But Ellen Cart Bulak wants to know, will you share a little about the book you're currently writing?
Oh boy. Um, let's just say it picks up right where this one left off. And I'm really surprised because there is sort of there was a big hint, wink wink, at the end
Oh,
of Lady on Esplanade that only my editor has, but she knows how I write, you know?
oh, she
She was
picked
the
up on
one
it.
immediately, and I have not had one reader
Huh.
ask me about it.
Now you got my mind turning. I'm gonna have to.
But it will that there's so many things that need to be addressed in this next book. I mean, like what happened to Tebow's wife? Why, is Bo ever going? He's got the engagement ring for Sam. He's shown it to Nola. Is that ever going to be a thing? And what about Cooper's fiance? There's so many questions and so
Yeah.
many things, so those things will be addressed. And there will
Okay.
also, I will tell you that I have picked a street, and it is Newcomb Boulevard. That will be the focus of
Ah.
the next one.
Oh,
And
good. A little hint for all of us moving
yes,
forward.
yes. And
Wonderful.
yeah, I have a really cool plot twist in that one. I do know that. Uh,
Ooh,
yeah. Mhm.
awesome. But you don't know when it's coming out yet.
No, hopefully next fall,
Okay.
but nothing yet. I just,
We'll
you
keep
know,
our fingers crossed. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Tracy Doris Black says, what is your favorite and least favorite part of being an author?
oh, least favorite part is always feeling like I have homework due the next day. Am I right? I mean,
Yes,
it's
that always
it's
hangs over
hard.
you.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Like I never feel like I have time off.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the best part, honestly, again, is meeting readers who think my characters are real, just like
Yay.
I do. I mean, that is just connecting with, and I really feel like this community of readers that, and obviously, Brenda, you see it here on in the chat, but recently I had a huge trauma in my life.
Yeah.
The way my reading community has reached out and embraced me and lifted me up. I mean, the cards, I mean, just
Uh,
my heart just overflows with gratitude. I just cannot believe it. And it's like, we might not be, you know, surgeons who can save somebody's life, but that doesn't mean that we're not reaching into people's lives in a very positive way.
yeah.
And seeing, the reader love, that to me is the most fabulous thing about this whole experience. And even like, in my darkest, deepest grief, I was thinking, why, I don't know if I can ever write again. I don't know. And then every single reader is like, please keep writing. Your books bring so much joy. And that, I think I was meant to hear that. And that has given me the confidence to know that this is something that I'm meant to be doing and I will
Wonderful.
be doing. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. You deserve the love that everybody's showing you, and I hope that it continues to carry you through. And
Yeah.
we just have one last question, and I think it's a good one. It's easy. Nancy Jenke says, what are your family traditions for Thanksgiving? I know it might be a little different this year. Are you going to carry any of them through?
We will. So we normally go to the beach, the whole family. This year we're not because I've got my new grandbaby, so we're going to my daughter's house.
Uh-huh.
And but the one tradition that we all cling to, that we've been doing for years and years and years. We start off the Christmas season on Thanksgiving night, and we watch our favorite Christmas movie because we know all of the words. Is Christmas Vacation.
I thought that I was going to guess that it was that one.
And we all have the girls all have our sweatshirts that say, "Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?" And then the boys have, "I don't know, Margot." But for the baby, I found a little baby sweatshirt that says, "It's a Butte Clark." So
Oh,
all gonna
perfect.
wear a little sweatshirt and we're
Oh,
gonna watch Christmas Vacation Thanksgiving night. So,
I
because we'll
love
all
it.
be
I hope you'll
together.
post a picture of you. I would love to see it.
Oh my gosh, especially the baby with her, yes,
Yes.
100%. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the new baby. We
Thank you.
appreciate your time here with us tonight, sharing your
Oh, I
thoughts on
appreciate
writing and on
you.
your book. And we loved it. We're so grateful that you are continuing to write and look forward to the future books that you have coming out.
Thank you, Brenda, and thanks everyone for coming. It's been I'm just amazed. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah, they're wonderful. I love them. And I love you. So have a nice night.
Thank you, Brenda. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Okay, that was a wonderful interview with Karen. Isn't she delightful? I knew you guys would love her. She's very gracious. I've gotten to meet her a few times, and the last time that I did a signing with her, well, the only time I've actually done a signing, Mary Kay Andrews was with us, and um, Karen was just a delight that night as well. So now we get to Janet Robles' many, many giveaways, which I'm excited about and grateful to her for. It adds fun and excitement to our books or our book group meetings. These will be for live viewers. Janet is giving away 2025 Christmas party packages. So for a chance to win one of those, comment if you're coming to our Christmas party on December 11th. Let's see who's here tonight. Oh my gosh, there's Star. Hi, Star, and Flo, and Vicky, and Cindy. Oh my gosh, and Diana, and Wendy, and Linda, and Tracy. I'm so glad that you could all come tonight. And Joe Marie's here, and Angela. I'm so glad that you could come, and Jennifer. We've got so many great people who come and support our book group meetings every month. And when you guys come to the meeting and support us in that way, we're so grateful. And when you get the book boxes or anything from the store, it helps us to be able to host these fabulous writers, because then that means those are sales for those writers. So the more boxes we sell, the more books we're able to buy from that author, which supports her career and it supports publishing. Even though publishing is going through a major earthquake right now, I feel like our group is a positive light in the middle of all of that earthquake that's going on there. So we are going to choose, let's see, these are live viewers. So I just picked them randomly, Lex, you think? Okay, Gail McAllister will win one. Marianne Milkowski, she will win one. And Harriet Goldstein. So congratulations to those three people. You get a 2025 Christmas party package. And if you are already purchased one, have one coming, you can gift yours to someone else by either accepting it and giving it to somebody you know at home, or you can give it away in the book group. So if that's a duplicate, feel free to handle it that way. Janet is giving away 2 Merry Christmas or Merry Bookmas ornaments. So that's our brand new ornament. Lex, do you have a copy I can show to, or have them here I can show to them? It's so cute. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's part of our our Christmas packages this year, and it's going in December's Brenda Novak book box. This is our 5th ornament. So, and we're not going to reorder the first 2. So we're already out of the first one. If you want to catch some of the back ones, you might want to grab it because we won't be reordering again. But it's a stack of books that go way over her head, and it says Merry Bookmas, and it's so cute. So anyway, Janet's giving away 2 of those. So for a chance to win one of them, comment which ornaments from my collection you already have. It started in 2020 with the bookstore. I'll show you that one in case you don't have it. This one I think is my favorite, the very first one, because this is the bookstore in the bookstore on the beach. So that one I love. And then for 2021, see how it's stamped on the front so you know what year it is. And it's a book stack. And you can only get these through us. We literally had the company that does the official White House ornaments make them to our specifications. So once they're gone, they're gone. So it's a very limited edition. This is a Christmas tree with little books as ornaments. It's so cute. I love that one too. I love them all. Oh, this one is the book stream. Those of you who came out to see me on tour, oops, something dropped out of there that wasn't supposed to be in there. It's a screw of some sort. And then this is a Bookmas, that's our book stream. And then we've got our gnome. reading the banned books club that we had for last year. Isn't that cute? So anyway, Janet's giving away 2 of the new ones. So as I said, comment which of the collection you already have, and we will. Are those for live viewers, or are we leaving those open? Those are live viewers too. So we are going to go with, how about Patricia Warren? So that's 1. And then how about Darlene Quinn? That can be our second winner. So thank you to Janet for doing those. And now these we're going to leave open and select winners later that we'll announce on the winners post. So Janet's giving away 4 banned books puzzles. I don't know if you guys have even seen our big puzzle, but we ran into a trouble getting the big puzzle in for the box, and it turned into this big fiasco. But they're so cute. So it was really sad that that ever happened. We love them. I've done mine a couple times with Ella. It's 500 pieces, and it is a collection of some of my favorite banned books. They're classics, and it's really a cool puzzle. So she's giving away 4 banned book puzzles. And for a chance to win that, comment if you've read the Banned Books Club. So that'll be an easy way to enter that. Janet's giving away 1 autographed copy of the Banned Books Club. So for a chance to win that, comment what the last banned book you've read is. I've read quite a few. I was going to do some reviews on them, and I got so behind I never was able to do that, which I feel bad about. Janet is giving away 2 surprise books from past featured authors. If you don't know what these are, they come wrapped in beautiful gift paper. I think Alexa's going to show you. And you can designate if you want it to be suspense, romance, women's fiction, historical. So you can pick the genre, but it's like a surprise. You don't know what the actual book's going to be. And Lexa looks through to make sure it's nothing you've ordered from us before. And so it's wrapped with this Jolaboka float. Am I saying it right? Jolaboka float is a tradition in Iceland where they gift a book on Christmas, and then they sit around and read at Christmas night with a cup of hot cocoa. So this comes with some very nice hot cocoa. It's delicious, actually, one of my favorites. And it's wrapped in this beautiful Jolaboka float paper. And so then you have a nice gift you can give away to somebody else, or maybe it comes in the mail and it's for you. So she is giving away 2 surprise books, and these are some of our past featured authors, so they are signed. So it's a signed surprise book. And we've been doing the book group for about 9 years now. So we have, just random remainders of various books. We thought this would be a fun way to use them. And so for a chance to win one of these 2, comment if you're going to earn your 2025 reading challenge pin, which means you've read all 12 of our book group reads this year, or substituted the ones that weren't for you to one of mine. We always leave that option open for you because, for instance, some people thought the true crime was a little too heavy for them, and it just gives them the option to do a Christmas book of mine or something instead. And here's what our cute pins look like. They're so cool. You don't have to keep up with this every month to get your pin. You just have to get all the books read by January 15th of the end of the year. And then you can get this for free, and it goes in your February book box. And if you're not getting February's box, then you just pay $5 for shipping and handling, because that's actually less than what it costs us to ship it to you. So the pin itself is free. So then we have Janet is also giving away 2 autographed copies of The Summer That Changed Everything, which was my latest release in June. So for a chance to win, comment if you have pre-ordered my next release, Meet Me in Italy. And I hope you all have, because I'm super excited. I'm also going to be picking people to win a handmade ceramic cup from people who have pre-ordered. And it's been a blast trying to learn this. Alexa is trying to teach me, and it's kind of a comedy of errors. We'll post some of the bloopers for you. But I think they're turning out pretty nice. I'm actually quite proud of them. Alexa is good at it, very good at it. She doesn't let me fail too terribly. So I think you're going to like them, and it's going to be fun to try and give away as many of those as I can make. I don't know how many I'll be able to make, but I'm going to try and do a good number if I can. All right. So thank you again so much to Janet for her incredible generosity and the way she looks after this group and how many things she helps us with. Now we get to announce our top 10 contributors. This is for January, or not for January, sorry, for November. This is something that Facebook picks that we don't, okay? And this is Janet Roble, Juanita Ramirez, Jo Marie Maderer, Nicole Duvall, Star Roybal, Christina Modges, Nancy Brady, Jen Miller, Virgie Lane, and Sheila Wiggins Golding. So they are our top 10, and they are entered every month. You make it into top 10. And that's just by commenting and liking and stuff the most, so that we get a lot of activity in the group, which is why Facebook will feed it out to people. Otherwise, Facebook doesn't feed it out. So they're very helpful to us. And each time you make it, your name goes in to a year-end drawing to split a yearly subscription to the Brenda Novak book boxes. So each winner will get We pick 4, and each winner will get 3 boxes. So remember again to record our November read by December 15th on my website under the book group tab, and that's you'll get a chance to win the monthly $100 gift card that we give away every month. And as I said, you don't have to read monthly to earn your enamel pin, which I showed you, or to be entered to the grand prize, which is a dedication to one of my novels. You just have to finish all reads by January 15th, 2026. And now for the last thing, thank you for hanging in there with me. Our December read is A Merry Little Lie by Sarah Morgan. And it's going to be such a fun Christmas read. I'm eager to dive into it. December's meeting is our big Christmas party. I mentioned that. I don't want you to forget it. It's going to be on December 11th. We'll celebrate Ted's birthday because it's on the same day. We'll also celebrate Christmas and all the fun things that we have going on. It's at our normal time at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we actually finished a book group meeting exactly in an hour, I think. So I'm patting myself on the back for that. Thank you, everybody. Love you.